welcome to my channel. My name is Ajane. For those of you who are new, I do lifestyle videos, travel vlogs. I do a lot of work related content as well. So if you are interested in anything that I said, please make sure that you subscribe down below, that you click the notification bell so that you know when I post. I typically post every Wednesday and Saturday at around 12 o'clock, if not 12 o'clock on the dot. And I have a lot of travel content, a lot of fun, exciting things coming up for the rest of the year that I would love to share with you guys. So if you want to be a part of the family, if you want to be a part of this experience, then I would highly suggest that you subscribe. But yeah, I'm just excited to share with you guys some of the things, my thoughts regarding the month of May. I did my first ever video on like my intentions for the month of May, and I kind of wanted to just follow up with you guys to go over the things that I was able to accomplish over the last month, and things that I still probably need to be working on as well going into the month of June as well. And so I wanted to share that with you guys and just give you a breakdown of everything that's been going on. So I'm gonna pull up my other video and go over some of the things that I said that I wanted to do and accomplish over the last month. So like I mentioned in my other video, I didn't want to be too hard on myself. I did want to set expectations and goals for the month just to keep track, just to keep myself motivated and inspired, and also to make sure that I'm meeting small little marks in order to reach some of my larger goals that I have over the next year or the next several months or whatever, that specific goal, if it has a, tentative deadline. So I do want to give myself grace because there are situations that are out of our control. There's issues, there's mental health, there's jobs, there's things that contribute to possibly things needed to be pushed back or things that need to be addressed before some other things can be accomplished. So I'm just giving myself enough space in order to experience life and for things to happen and things to be adjusted. I want to make sure that I am a person that can adapt to change and make sure that it's not going to completely wreck me or take me off course. So as far as financials, I definitely wanted to cut down on my spending, my extracurricular spending habits, my flexible money, as some people call it. And I wanted to just focus more on savings. And that was one of my biggest goals that I had for the month of May. And I completely failed. I'm not even going to sit here and lie and tell you that I didn't, or that I did well. I ended up needing to get a lot more things than I, initially projected or expected for my upcoming trips. I just literally got back from Chicago yesterday, and then I leave in 6 days to go back to Chicago, and then I'm going to Newark, New Jersey, and then on a cruise to Bermuda, and then back, and then I still have another trip to Chicago later on this month as well in June. So I did not do well. I actually did even probably a little bit more spending than I did the previous month, and yeah, it's just a lot of trips, and so you need to get a lot of travel size items, and you want to get a few new nicer things that you haven't. And so I'm really trying to clean out my closet some of the things that I've had for years, like just basic t-shirts and white t-shirts that are kind of dingy and stained, and I've had for several years, and just restock those things. So even today I went to Target and just got some basic white tees, some basic summer simple staples that can be applied for normal life, and then also for my job if I wear with a cardigan or something. So I definitely didn't need to spend those things, but they were also kind of a necessity as well. They're not a necessity like food and gas and obviously healthcare and things like that. However, it was kind of a necessity that was a luxury for me to go out and just replenish some of my old dingy white shirts. So yeah, I didn't do the best with that. I also forgot that I had to take into account that I had to get a new license, which is something that I ended up doing today. And like I said, I just went to Chicago. So a lot of that was split with bills with my friends, which, I mean, in theory, it sounds like an easier option, but for someone like me who doesn't eat a lot, which my bill would, one of my bills would technically have been $25. I ended up paying $50 to just split it with everyone else. So that's more, money that basically I didn't technically use. So there was some loss on financial, part, and I really do for June is to really cut back on that extracurricular spending, and just be a little bit more stern and more disciplined with that. I gave myself, like I said, grace for this month, even though my intention was to also be better with my financials and put a lot more money into savings, but it just didn't happen. So in the meantime, I was, able to get a raise this month, so that definitely does help and alleviate some of that burden. But there's a lot of room for improvement still. So definitely for the month of June, I still want to continue to do really well with my spending and savings, and really be more disciplined with that. So I need to start just taking out more cash and not using my card, because I think that's also something that's rough. Like, it's hard to be a lot more disciplined when you have a card and it's just easy to swipe. It's, you don't get to see your money dwindle. So I do really good when I'm on like a cash flow. So probably gonna have to focus on that again. So the second part was mental health. I definitely wanted to continue to engage with my counselor and continue to address my mental health and get on, like, just be better. And that's not just like mental health with my emotions or my thought processes, but also just overall life, my spiritual well-being as well. And so one of my goals was to meet with my counselor. I think it was like twice or three times in the month. And I actually have a meeting today with my counselor. And so that would be the second or third time this month that we've met. So I definitely have reached that goal. And I do always feel better. It's always a little nerve-wracking before I go in, because I'm like, what are we going to talk about? And what are they going to ask me? And so I have been doing really well with that. And yeah, I'm excited about today and being able to talk to my counselor. And that's been something that I've been able to keep a priority. And what I did was I went ahead and scheduled 2 sessions at the same time, so that I already had it on my calendar. I didn't hesitate or, delay the process. That I was just like, okay, let's meet these 2 weeks because I know that I have this time available. And here we are. So that was really, good for me. And I think I'm going to do that as well for June. Let's just get those weeks, or however many times that I feel like I need to meet with my counselor already on the schedule and scheduled out, so that there's no issues. So let's see. I also wanted to be working out. So I have been really good with working out. I have been really disciplined with that. There was a week where I pretty much did it every day. Maybe it was like 6 or 7 days. I can't really remember, but I have been really good about going on walks, going to the gym at least for 30 minutes. And I try to alternate, especially when it's nice weather. Lately, it's been like, well, in the month of May, it was really crappy weather. It rained a lot, like pretty much half or more than half of the month. And so there were a lot of days where I spent in the gym, but I did walk a lot. I got my steps in, and I'm definitely paying for it with my shins, my calves, and my feet. So with that, that goes back to my finances. I ended up getting some new shoes to accommodate my feet, because the shoes that I've had for several years, but I did get them on a discount, and I got them actually cheaper than the retail price because I'm a medical worker, and so I got a discount. So peep that, people. I still am looking for the deals. So socially, what's June looking like? Socially, I'm pretty much packed. I'm going to be spending a lot more time with my family than pretty much any other month for the rest of the year. I'm spending a lot of time with my sister, my eldest sister, and my 2 nieces, and my mother, as me and my mother will be going back and forth to Chicago at least twice in the month of June. And so, yeah, I'm going to be seeing some of my best friends, and I've already seen one of my best friends. And yeah, June's going to be a really busy month. It's also my birthday, so people are asking me what I'm doing. It's just so hard because I literally leave the day after my birthday, and my birthday's on a Monday, and I'm working. So usually I would take off, but because I'm going to be gone so much in June, I just like, let me just work, let's just get this coin. So socially, I do have a lot of plans, but I'm also going to be missing a lot of time here in St. Louis. So I do need to make sure that I'm being intentional about, when I do come home, not just completely, how you get off a trip, you just want to be kind of to yourself for a little bit while you recuperate. So I just need to be a lot more intentional about meeting up with my friends who are in town and spending quality time with them. I also did really well with my eating habits this month. There were, moments where I maybe had a snack, but I was really disciplined considering the things that were presented in front of me. We had a lot of like activities at work that I just didn't participate in or I didn't indulge in. So I'm really proud of myself because that's a lot of where the weaknesses used to come, because my coworkers enjoy snacks and enjoy eating and enjoy sharing food and bringing in things for people's birthdays and, you know, Nurses Week and Healthcare Week. And so there were a lot of free things that happened throughout the month of May. But I did not participate in a lot of it, and I was very mindful as well, if I did participate, how much I was, you know, eating, or, you know, if I anticipated something to be brought in by a coworker, then I kind of just made sure that I had a balanced day or a balanced week. And so I was really good. I'm really proud of myself for my intentional eating, and I hope that I can continue that. And be a lot more mindful as well going forward in June. So June, like I said, I have a lot of trips, a lot of traveling. So I do know that it's going to be a lot more difficult to be more intentional, because a lot of May I was able to prep my food and bring my food and prepare things and snacks that were healthy, and I'm not going to necessarily always have that option per se, especially financially if I'm trying to save money. So I just need to be a lot more intentional in planning, and being disciplined. So those are the 3 things that I'm looking forward to in June, with that area. And so to also go along with that, I'm talking about my spirituality as well. I want to make sure that I'm still devoting time with God, still having one-on-one time with God, and all the chaos and the busyness of my schedule. And I feel so blessed to be able to go on so many trips and to have the flexibility to do so, and the PTO, and just the freedom. You know, I don't have a spouse, I don't have kids, to kind of do whatever I want. And so I don't take it for granted, and I'm super blessed for it. But I also want to make sure, like I said, that I'm spending time with my loved ones, that I'm still spending time with God, still having alone time for myself as well, so that I'm not burnt out or overwhelmed and, you know, easily annoyed and things like that, moody. I want to be alone. I did want to say, it may be TMI, but, you know, I'm a girl. You usually suspect and can expect that most women have a period. But my menstrual cycle was absolutely better than it's ever been, probably in my entire life. Maybe it's because I'm working out and I was, like I said, being more intentional with my eating habits, but it was the best period of my life. And if I have to work out nearly 5 to 7 days out of the week to do that, I would do that, because that was chef's kisses. So my sleeping habits. What about the sleeping habits? The sleeping habits definitely improved. I definitely find that I'm falling asleep a lot easier, without any additional like melatonin or NyQuil, things like that, to help me go to sleep. By the time that I'm in bed, I'm usually able to just fall asleep on my own without any additional, you know, things. I do rub like lavender scent on my wrist and a little dollop on my nose and sometimes on my temples. And I recently just got Dr. Teal's sleep spray, and so I spray that you know, over my pajamas and then on my pillows, and that definitely, I feel like, has helped me, and I don't necessarily feel groggy in the morning like I would with like a sleeping aid. So I really do like that. An oral sleeping aid, I guess I should say, because Dr. Teal's and stuff is still considered, you know, assistance with sleep. So I definitely see an improvement, that I'm able to fall asleep a lot faster, and that me getting up has been a little bit better. Not completely, you know, great where I'm just like, I hear my alarm and I want to get up, but things have definitely been a lot better. And so I think that's also contributing to my discipline and my work ethic. So the Bible studies, I know this is kind of like sporadic everywhere. I'm just like watching my video and talking to you guys as I do it. But I want to make sure that I mention that the Bible study. So I think I participated in 1 or 2 Bible studies this month, maybe 1, because life has just been so crazy. But I definitely attended 1 Bible study, and I occasionally check in with the ladies from that Bible study. I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to continue it, just because June is crazy, but I do meet with my best friend, and we meet every Sunday, and so that's kind of like my Bible time as well. I have been really good about watching sermons and having my devotional time, so I feel really good. It's just really challenging right now to schedule out additional time that I kind of feel like I don't necessarily have right now, especially with, like I said, with June, me going out of town a lot. So it's going to be hard to participate in those Bible studies, but I definitely attended 1, so 1's better than none. So I'm really grateful for the month of May. It definitely gave me a lot of perspective. I definitely feel like I've grown emotionally throughout this month, because there were a lot of things that I was working with internally and mentally, that I was able to kind of not necessarily resolve, but move past. And I want to be a better person. And I noticed that when I really focused inward and was able to address some of the things that I needed to work with, then a lot of my relationships improved with that as well. And I'm not just talking about like friends, but like family, with my job, and my relationship with God included. So I just needed to do a lot of like self-reflection and figure out some of the things that I was struggling with and really address that. And definitely counseling and therapy and reading the word definitely helped with that. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you are able to just kind of like do some self-assessment and figure out some of the things that you were able to do for your month, and maybe you need to start doing this as well. I hope this is a motivational tool. It's not to say that I'm doing great and that your life isn't, because it's comparison, but it's just me sharing my personal journey and the things that I need to do better in, the things that I'm working towards, and the things that I feel really good about. So just me sharing my experiences, and I hope that you guys enjoyed. I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.